Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a live lesson video. No, but Mr. Bango from the Congo. All right, let's talk about what we're going to do today. So, the first thing you're going to do today is you graphing. What are you graphing? You are graphing this function right here. Okay, so this function only means that we're going to go to Desmos. We're going to plug this in Desmos. When we plug that in Desmos, you should be able to find the horizontal asymptote, the vertical asymptote, the domain, the range, and then we will graph it. All right, so you take this, you go to Desmos. So you just type in desmoscalculator.com. Here we go. And here you can easily type in 1 divided by, I believe it was x, right? All right, so x, what was it again? X what? X minus 2. X, I might have to do this. Y'all bear with me for a second. X, go down, minus 2. Here we are. So with this here, what we're going to do, we're going to focus on the graph. So you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can zoom in, you can move it to the right, you can move it to the left, whatever you want to do. But I want to show you something real fast. So I'm going to point out this. You notice on the x-axis, this line is like a wall, meaning that the graph would never cross this line that I'm showing you, right? Your blue graph would never cross the black line. It would get closer to it, but it would never cross it. We call that an asymptote, right? Same thing. The blue line will never cross the black line. We're going to asymptotes. So flat line is called horizontal asymptote. So right now, a horizontal asymptote is at 0, right? When y is 0. So we go back on the paper. On our paper right here, you're going to go ahead and write the following. We say that the horizontal asymptote will be y equal 0. You just need to memorize it. In fact, everybody do this on your paper. A flat line like this, that's called horizontal. And that will always start with y equals. An up and down line, that is called a vertical. A vertical will always start with x equals. Just something you're just going to have to memorize. I can see y'all making this mistake. That's why we're writing it. So we said y equals 0. So let me draw this line right here. Boom. There you go. We got the first one done. It is the vertical horizontal asymptote. Now we're going to do the vertical asymptote. So check this out. It looks like the graph on the up and down, it never crosses over the when x is 2, right? I can move the graph all the way up. You see, it never crosses when x is 2, even when you go down this way. Oh, let me do that. It never crosses when x is 2. So that vertical asymptote is x equals 2. So we're going to go over here. We're going to say our vertical asymptote is when x equals 2. Remember, vertical is x, right? And then you go on your paper. You're going to draw that. So 2 is somewhere over here. So let's draw a vertical asymptote. Boom. If you want to call it, if you want to call it VA, call it HA, whatever. And now you can graph it. Let's look at what the graph look like. It's just a bunch of little curvy things that never crosses your asymptotes. So go back here. Here's my graph. Something like that, right? It gets closer to the line, but it never crosses the line. All right, so now let's do some more things. So the domain is the x, right? The domain is the x. So on here, like if I do the graph, like this graph, domain always start from the far left to far right. I can always find a value for x except 2. X can be anything except 2. It cannot be 2. It cannot be this number right here. Same thing with the y. The y, notice the graph can go from the bottom all the way up, but it cannot be 0. It cannot be 0. All right, so my domain will be from the far left is negative infinity to all the way to 2. But you will use parentheses because it does not include 2, because it never hits 2. And you put the U to say end, then it goes from 2 to infinity. All right. Same thing with the range. The range goes from, started at the bottom, negative infinity, to 0, but you use parentheses because it never included 0. And it goes from 0 to infinity. All right. So the table, how do I get the table? All right. For the table, you have to do, you go here, go back to Desmos and click on this little edit list. When you click on that, it allows you to then select the table right here, the first one. Again, all I did was click on this little setting button, and then you go to the first option, which is a table. You click on that, and then notice it gives you a table here, but my first point is -10. So you can change that. You can come over here and just type your -10, all right? There goes your point. It looks like it's -0.8. What's your next number? -1. It looks like it's -0.3. And then your next one is -0.5. You come over here. You can type that, -0.5. You got your point. The next one is 0.5. You see what I'm doing? Right? And the next one is 1. And the next one is 10. You just press enter to give you more. And then these are your tables. These answers right here, you can put that in your table and you'd be good to go, right? Put that over here. Pretty much that's how you're going to do all of it. But I'm going to do 2 more and then we'll be good. So that was just example 1. All right. And in the next video, we're going to do example 2.